We've heard there Poroshenko speaking to the German press, to us as well, calling for NATO to get more involved. Is this part of a sort of campaign on his part to try and get foreign intervention?
Absolutely, Belle. He's been speaking to anybody who listen, really, trying to drum up support, calling on the international community to support him and help secure his country. He's clearly very concerned about the intentions of Vladimir Putin, and that's why we saw him say to Euronews in an exclusive interview 2 days ago that he wants Vladimir Putin out of Ukraine, and he repeated that message when he spoke to Bild, one of Germany's most read newspapers, just yesterday. He said we cannot accept this aggressive policy of Russia. He said first it was Crimea, then it was eastern Ukraine. He said, what will Putin do next if we don't stop him? And he specifically gave that interview to Germany because he wants to speak directly to the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, who he believes is a very close friend and ally of Ukraine. He commended her for her role a couple of years ago and in the Minsk Accords. He, like many in Europe, believe that Angela Merkel is one of the only people who can actually sit down directly face to face with Vladimir Putin and speak to him in his native language and be understood and be respected. Exactly what he said in that interview was, Germany is one of our closest allies, and we hope now that states within NATO are ready to relocate naval ships to the Sea of Azov in order to assist Ukraine and provide security. Now, the response from Germany so far from the foreign minister has been not so clear, but all we've heard from officials here is that Germany has called for de-escalation, but no further comments yet.
And Méabh, Ukraine is obviously not a member of NATO. What is NATO likely to respond? Is it going to help the Ukrainians?
Well, NATO has been meeting for the last couple of days, and indeed NATO is not a member of NATO, but it wants to be a member of NATO. Pedro Poroshenko has made that very clear, and he said that he has the support of NATO and he has the support of Donald Trump, the US president, as well, for that intention. Because if of course, Ukraine was a member of NATO, they'd be able to trigger Article 4 and have an instant reaction and support, and of course those naval ships deployed in quite a fast manner. For the moment, all we've heard from Jens Stoltenberg, the head of NATO, is statements and words, but no concrete action. We've also known that there's been a bit of a standoff between Hungary and Ukraine over a number of issues. That's why we haven't seen the Ukrainian ambassadors be able to sit and meet at ministerial level here in NATO. But we understand that the Ukrainians will be invited to a meeting on the 4th and 5th of December that NATO foreign ministers will be hosting here in Brussels. And on an EU level as well, there's talks and statements that it took, in fact, 3 days for the EU to come out with a statement on their stance on this issue. There's talk of sanctions, but again, nothing concrete. But we'll keep an eye, of course, on that story.